The man was completely powerless, manipulated like a marionette. A loop of transparent steel wire was coiled around his neck, clamped tight by Minister Kim. The previous day, upon learning that Minji had been taken away by Chairman Ju, Chief Kyung of the Intelligence Bureau immediately led his agents to storm Chairman Ju's residence. Before the operation, Sungya secretly sent a message to Minister Kim, informing him that Minji had gotten into Chairman Ju's car. Han-soo, who had rushed over to provide backup, arrived just then. Minister Kim left at once with Han-soo for Chairman Ju's house. Chairman Ju ordered Minji to take a shower and change clothes, pressuring him to recount the entire sequence of events. Clever as he was, Minji omitted the truth that he had been beaten by Hairi and her gang thugs, saying only that after leaving the principal's office that day, he had been attacked, and woken up locked inside a cold storage room. He never once mentioned Hairi from start to finish. Still, Chairman Ju saw straight through his lies, and knew he had been pretending to sleep ever since getting into his car, and that was exactly what had happened. When Minji boarded the vehicle, he had not spotted Chairman Ju sitting in the back seat. It was only when he heard Chairman Ju sneer triumphantly, "Hairi's archrival walked right into my hands," that he realized he had barely escaped one den of wolves only to stumble into another. To stay safe, Minji shut his eyes and kept up the act of sleeping, feigning total ignorance as he was driven to Hairi's house. Now, he still put on an innocent, naive front. He thanked Chairman Ju for rescuing him despite their past conflicts, begging to borrow a phone to call his father, but Chairman Ju flatly refused, and even planned to kill him. Terrified, Minji jumped up to run, only to be seized by guards posted at the door. Chairman Ju held a syringe, declaring that Hairi was his beloved daughter. No matter what mistakes his girl made, he would cover for her without fail. Just as he raised the syringe to inject Minji, Chief Kyung and his agents crashed straight through the front gate and burst inside. To deal with these uninvited intruders, Chairman Ju ordered his men to lock Minji in the basement first. Chief Kyung issued orders to search every corner for Minji, while he went to negotiate with Chairman Ju, demanding that he hand the boy over voluntarily. Meanwhile, the agents who tried to break into the basement were soundly beaten by Mr. Nam, one of Chairman Ju's top men, left defenseless. At that moment, Chief Kyung received a phone call from the Vice Minister of National Security. The Vice Minister berated him for breaking into a private residence without authority, ordering him to halt the operation at once. Reluctant as he was, Chief Kyung had no choice but to retreat with his agents. Outside the property, Minister Kim and Han-soo watched every move unfolding inside. They noticed Sungya and the laundromat owner carrying out a separate mission on their own. Minister Kim instantly guessed Chief Kyung had a backup plan, so he decided to split up with Han-soo and act separately. Shortly after, Chief Kyung drove to a secluded spot to meet with Sungya. To everyone's shock, Minji stepped out of Sungya's vehicle. Chief Kyung had laid out the scheme from the very beginning. While he put on a big show of leading agents to search openly for Minji, the covert rescue operation had long been entrusted to Sungya and the laundromat owner. The pair slipped undetected into the basement, took down the guards cleanly and efficiently, and successfully rescued Minji. Minji never imagined the man who came to save him would be the laundromat uncle. Yet before he could ask for an explanation, Chief Kyung forced him into a car to be escorted back to headquarters. The laundromat owner hated watching Chief Kyung use Minji as leverage against Minister Kim, but bound by his position, he could not defy his superior's orders. What they did not anticipate was that Minister Kim, who had tracked them down, was already on the move. Minister Kim first wrapped steel wire around the neck of an agent left to cover their retreat. When the other two stepped out of the car to check, he clamped one man's mouth shut with a hand, snatched his gun away in one fluid motion, then shot the second agent in the thigh. From him, he pried loose the information that Minji was being transported back to headquarters. Minister Kim stole the agent's vehicle, and spoke to Chief Kyung over the car radio. If a single hair on Minji's head was harmed, he would kill every last one of them. Chief Kyung did not believe Minister Kim would turn himself in peacefully once he found Minji back at headquarters. He first had Minji locked in an interrogation room, then dispatched a tactical response team to ensure Minister Kim was captured without a hitch. Little did he know, Minister Kim had already prepared two surprises waiting just for him. Jinchul headed back to the armory first and fetched a large cache of sophisticated firearms. Han-soo, who had split off to act separately with Minister Kim, slipped under a car and tailed the vehicle all the way to headquarters. To break into the interrogation room, Han-soo took a security guard hostage, seized his access card, and snuck into the building. He first located the power distribution room and memorized the floor evacuation map to get a clear grasp of the layout. After a brief, coercive negotiation, he abducted a cleaning lady, then crawled into the ventilation ducts. He inched through the pipes until he reached the power room. Pulling out a bottle of mineral water, he tied one end of a thin string around the bottle neck and draped the other end over the circuit breaker. He twisted the cap open gently, letting water drip down the string onto the breaker bit by bit. Every step unfolded exactly as he'd planned. Once Minji was rescued, the breaker would short-circuit, plunging the entire facility into blackout and buying them precious time to flee. Meanwhile, Chief Kyung was interrogating Minji in the monitoring room. He told the boy Minister Kim was a spy. For over a decade, Kim had laid low without incident, yet he'd suddenly sprung into action and even drawn the attention of North Korean operatives. Chief Kyung needed to know what could have driven Minister Kim to such extremes. Minji recounted the fight with Hyri and the retaliation she'd inflicted on him. Chief Kyung let out an exasperated laugh after hearing the whole story. He never imagined the bloodthirsty Minister Kim would resurface over nothing more than a childish brawl. Minji, too, had never guessed his mild, unassuming father was a spy. The interrogation was cut short when an aide rushed in to report the vice minister's arrival. Chief Kyung immediately ordered Minji locked in an isolation cell to keep him hidden from everyone. The vice minister berated Chief Kyung for unlawfully breaking into a private residence and demanded he hand Minji over at once. Chief Kyung shot back sharply, accusing the vice minister of taking bribes from Chairman Ju and acting as the tycoon's lackey. He warned the vice minister to face reality. Minister Kim was hunting frantically for Minji. If they surrendered the boy to Chairman Ju, both the vice minister and Ju would end up dead. The safest course was to stand aside and let him apprehend Minister Kim first. As the two men argued, Minji, trapped in the isolation cell, suddenly heard his name called from above. To his shock, it was Hansu. Without time for explanations, Hansu pried open the vent grill and hauled Minji up into the ducts. The two scrambled forward through the ventilation system, right as the power distribution room shorted out. Alarms blared across every floor, throwing the building into chaos. Hansu led Minji down from the ducts and bolted toward the basement, only to find Chief Kyung and a swarm of agents lying in wait to trap them. Hansu turned to Minji and told him to sprint for the emergency exit the second he counted to 3. He shielded Minji from incoming fire while Jinchul fired flashbangs and smoke grenades, spraying rounds across the basement. Smoke billowed everywhere, leaving the agents disoriented and disheveled. Chief Kyung soon realized none of his men had sustained injuries, and he saw through the ruse. Jinchul had only been firing blank rounds. Unharmed, Chief Kyung ordered his agents to return fire with live ammunition. Jinchul, Hansu and Minji took cover behind a vehicle, dodging the hail of bullets. As Chief Kang's men closed in, Hansu held up a white strip of cloth to signal surrender. Just then, the vice minister shouted for everyone to freeze. All eyes snapped to him. A thin steel wire was wrapped tight around his neck, forcing him to shuffle forward like a puppet. The man gripping the wire, holding the vice minister's life in his hands, was Minister Kim, standing high above them. After overcoming countless obstacles, Minister Kim had finally laid eyes on the daughter he'd ached to see.